Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing Halloween DIY projects. I had so much fun making these, so we're gonna hop right into them. The first project, we're going to be making potion bottles, and I have collected these over the past couple years. I did get one from Hobby Lobby when it was on sale, like 50% off. So you can definitely get some of these amber bottles at craft stores, but most of these are collections from over time. So I went online and I actually got these free printables. I am going to link them in the description for you so that you can make these as well. Now I have a Cricut machine. Originally I was just going to print them out on paper and do Mod Podge to attach them to these bottles, which you can definitely do if you do not have a Cricut machine or another cutting, machine. But what I did was I actually created stickers out of these so that I could just easily stick them onto the bottles and I didn't have to worry about Mod Podge or anything like that. But again, if you do not have that, you can easily apply these with Mod Podge. So I did get these from a couple different blogs where they had these free potion labels. So like I said, I will link them for you so that you can resize them, add them to whatever, bottle that you have. It was a lot of fun making these. And on top of that, I really liked the cork that was on the bottle that I got from the craft store. So I had some leftover wine corks, and surprising, right? And I just cut them down and I, used my razor blade to trim them and to make them fit each bottle so that it looked even more like potion bottles. So I really hope you guys enjoy this first project. So these next three projects are actually from the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store, $1.25 store, whatever you want to call it. I was actually inspired by a video that I saw online. I believe it was on Facebook, and I did not save it. I saw it a little while ago, but what the person did was took a bat form from the Dollar Tree and removed all of this, all of the glittery stuff that I'm, removing right now, and then used black jute string or whatever string that she had. I'm not sure, but I did get my jute from the craft store, and you just redo this entire piece with the black jute. And so like I said, she did it with bats, and I did go to the Dollar Tree. I could not find a bat, but I found this witch's boot and then the ghost, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it this way. So I will say this did take some time, so you're going to have a little bit of patience. What I did was for the boot, I took the jute string and I wrapped it around the top portion first so I would have a nice, good base for this jute string. I at first was going to just use hot glue, but then I realized, it looks a lot more finished having it wrapped all the way around the top. So like when you're looking at it, you're not going to see the plastic form. So I did this. It didn't take too long, but It just adds more of a finished product, I think. And then I started to wrap the jute. So I tied it on one side and then I just start wrapping. There are parts of it where I will add some hot glue as I'm going so that it doesn't all just, you know, come apart, if you will, or unravel. So I tried to focus more on, the thicker areas of the form that I could apply the hot glue to, and I just started wrapping. So I wrapped it several times until I was happy with how it looked. You could definitely go more minimal if you want to show, a little bit of a gap between them, or you can just add more of the twine if you are wanting more of a, complete look. So, you can have fun with this. And I did do the heel and the toe separately. So I needed something for this boot to basically sit on so it would stay up. And I had these scrap pieces of wood, or I should say my husband did. So I took them and they were the perfect size for this boot. And I'm going to adhere the base of it with hot glue. In retrospect, I should have done a combination of hot glue and the E6000. So if I do make another one, I'm going to definitely add the E6000 for more of that permanent hold. But the hot glue definitely has held it up quite well, but I would add that for next time. And then to finish this up, I decided I was going to either add a tag or some type of bow. I couldn't really settle on the type of tag that I wanted, so I decided to create a messy bow. And I'm just using these thin strips of ribbon that I grabbed from the craft stores and from the Dollar Tree, and then I added a little bit of raffia to it as well, and I attached it to the top corner of the boot, and then this project is done. I really hope you guys like this one, and you'll have to let me know what you think. Now, this project is very similar to the last one. This ghost form is from the Dollar Tree, but instead of using the black jute, I'm actually using the mop that you can see that I also grabbed from the Dollar Tree. So the fabric for the mop, I actually was able to easily pull it out, and then I separated the strands so that I think there's like four in each like strand here. So I'm separating them so that I can add the individual strands to wrap around the ghost. Now, I will say this took a lot longer than the witch's boot, and this was a lot more temperamental. I don't know if it was a combination of the form, it's a different shape, combined with the material, but this one was kind of a pain in the butt. I'll be honest, but the end result turned out so stinking cute, so I think it was worth it. But you're definitely going to need some patience with this one. Um, for this, I kind of went about it a little different. So the entire base portion of this ghost you can see has like that kind of solid rim. So I knew that I was going to be hot gluing that piece down to that scrap piece of wood. So I wanted to keep that open and not have the fabric on it so that I could get enough hot glue on it. So I'm going to be wrapping around the base of it here and using some hot glue and keeping that bottom lip exposed until I attach it to the wood piece, which you will see later. And then I continued with each strand. I would tie it on one side and then just start wrapping it around. And I did that multiple times, and I did overlap them. Once I got the form, initially wrapped, I did go back in and I added some more of the, I'm just going to call this rope, some more of the rope in areas that it needed to be. For these cute little ghost arms, I wrapped around a couple pieces. I definitely used a decent amount of hot glue to make sure that everything held into place. So those pieces were obviously separate from the basic, body part of the form. But this piece is almost done now. Okay, so now we are ready to attach the ghost form to the scrap piece of wood. And again, just like the other project, I am using hot glue, but I would definitely mix it with a little bit of the E6000 next time as well. And then to cover the very bottom portion, I'm just adding another strip of this rope so that it covers it. And then all we have to do is add just a little bit more embellishments. Now, for the eyes and the mouth, I was trying to figure out the best way to do this. I did not have any felt on hand, so that would have worked really well. So what I did was I just used the jute string and I just hot glued several like pieces, within one another so that I would have, a filled, eye, the two eyes, and then the mouth would be filled. And I think it actually worked pretty well because it kind of looks like it's the same type of material as the ghost part itself. So it looks fairly consistent, I think. And I think it turned out so cute. And then to finish this up, I did want to add a little something extra to this. And I decided that I was going to add just a little tag, if you will. So I am just stamping the word boo onto this ribbon. I grabbed it from the craft store. It's pretty thick, so I did just cut it down to the size that I needed it to be, and I'm going to attach it to the one hand of the ghost, and then this one is done. Okay, for our final project, we are going to be using more of the string from the mop from the Dollar Tree, and then I also grabbed this wood piece, which is actually like part of the plunger from Dollar Tree. So as you just saw, I got this idea from Pinterest. I'm not sure if they used this exact, plunger piece or if they had just, wood from somewhere else. I know you can get dowels from, Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. So a dowel would work as well, but I was already at the Dollar Tree and I saw this and I was like, this will work perfectly fine. So I did stain um, the I'm just going to call this a dowel, this wood piece dowel here. And I wanted to do a quick stain, so I used the faux stain with the watered down antique wax. And then to actually create the rest of the broom, I am going to be taking the strands from the mop, folding them in half so that they are, cut in half, and then slowly but surely adding it to this wood piece. So I'm measuring this to make sure this is about the height that I want to have it. And then I am going to wrap this top portion with twine so I can hold it in place. I realized that I was probably making this a little bit more difficult for myself. If you are not new to my channel, then you know that I do this to myself quite often, make things a little bit more complicated than they probably have to be. But I realized that once I had the string, or rope up there, I wanted it to look a little bit more full. So I started to slowly unravel each strand. Again, I don't know if this made my life more difficult or not, but it did take me a little bit of time. But in the end, I really do like how this came out. And I am going to attach the top portion where I had the twine. I'm going to just add some hot glue and add each piece to it. And then once, I have the entire wood portion covered, I'm going to just continue to add the layers with the rope and the hot glue. And then I will add the twine back on it. I just really wanted to make sure that these were going to be secure. So after I did this, I realized that I didn't really want the wood portion to show underneath. So I am just going back in and adding some of the rope to this dowel portion so that it won't be super obvious. And then once I did that, I realized that I wanted this shorter. So I went and I cut the bottom, portion off to the height that I wanted. I felt like the broom was just a little bit too long. Again, I made this a little bit more complicated, never done this before, and so I am sharing with you as I am making this for the first time and everything that I noticed, and if I were to do it again, I would change a couple things, and that's what I did. So to finish this project up, the Dollar Tree had these little witch hat, cutouts. It was like an 8 to a pack. So I grabbed it and I painted it with black chalk paint. I gave it a good distressing. And then to seal that, I am going to just add some antique wax to, like I said, seal it, but also richen up that color. And then I'm going to attach it to the top portion of the broom with some raffia. And then this piece is done. I really hope that you enjoyed this project as well. Again, I hope you all enjoyed this video and you enjoyed these projects. Let me know your favorite. I had a lot of fun making these over the weekend or the weekend before. I can't remember when I made these. I was just in the mood to craft and create, and so I just went with it. And I hope you guys all, feel the same way, that when you get that itch to start creating, you get an idea or you get inspired from something, you just are able to create, and that's what I did. So I really do hope you enjoyed these. And next week's video, I believe, is going to be a fall video, or maybe it's Halloween. I can't remember. I'm working on a couple different types of projects, so I'm not quite sure which video will be next week, but it will either be Halloween or fall. So stay tuned for that. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing, and I will see you all next week. Bye, guys.